7 miles off the eastern shores of England, being battered by the North Sea, a World War II fort stood in international waters, Ruff's Tower. It was to become the birthplace of a nation. This is the story of Sealand and the Bates family's fight for its sovereignty. During World War II, the British government built several fortress islands in the North Sea to defend its coasts from German invaders. Some of these forts were built illegally in international waters. These sea forts housed enough troops to man and maintain anti-aircraft weaponry designed to shoot down German aircraft and missiles. They were situated along the east coast of England, on the edge of the British territorial waters. One of these forts, consisting of concrete and steel construction, was the now famous Ruff's Tower, situated in the North Sea. In contrast to the original plan to locate the tower within the sovereign territory of Great Britain, this fortress was situated at a distance of approximately 7 nautical miles from the coast, which is more than double the then internationally accepted 3-mile range of territorial waters. To put it briefly, this island was illegally placed in the international waters of the North Sea, but such restrictions were overlooked in a time of war. Following World War II, the naval personnel and marines were withdrawn from all of these forts by the British Admiralty. None of them were ever manned by the United Kingdom again, leaving the forts deserted to nature and the elements, thus abandoning their sovereignty. Save the aforementioned fortress, the other forts outside the UK international limits were later demolished. This resulted in the portentous uniqueness of the Ruff's Tower fortress, situated at the high seas. It had been deserted and abandoned, res derelict, and terra nullius. From a legal point of view, it therefore constituted extra-national territory. This paved the way for occupation. In the early 60s, Roy Bates, a major in the British Army, established a radio station, situated offshore on an abandoned ex-naval fort named Knock John. The theory behind this location was an attempt to bypass the draconian broadcasting restrictions of the time, which permitted little more than formal broadcasting by the BBC. Roy had a radio station called Radio Essex. This station, along with others similar, was affectionately named Pirate Radio Station by the press. They were popular among the people in Britain because they provided what the BBC didn't offer back then, pop music and entertaining hosts. As time went by, Roy found himself in a losing legal fight with the UK government over the legitimacy of his fort occupation. The verdict was that Knock John, the fort, fell under UK jurisdiction. Disappointed, Roy began thinking about what to do next. Another abandoned fortress, Ruff's Tower, identical in construction to the Knock John, existed farther offshore, and crucially outside of the 3-mile limit to which the UK jurisdiction extended. Roy proceeded to occupy Ruff's Tower on Christmas Eve 1966 with the intention of restarting his radio station. But then, he came up with an entirely new idea. After talking with his lawyers, Roy decided to declare this fortress the independent state of Sealand. He claimed jus gentium over this area, which was terra nullius. So, on the 2nd of September 1967, Roy, alongside his wife Joanne, on her birthday, his son Michael, his daughter Penelope, and a few friends and followers, proclaimed the Principality of Sealand. The founding of this country was marked by the raising of a newly designed flag, and in an extremely romantic birthday gesture, Roy gave his wife a new title. She would henceforth be known as Princess Joanne. Shortly after the declaration of independence, Roy's son, Prince Michael, repelled no less than 7 armed invasion attempts, employing an arsenal of guns, Molotov cocktails, and homemade projectiles. By late 1968, Sealand would find itself battling for survival on several fronts as the British government had become aware of Sealand and the potential problems associated with a new country 7 miles off of their coast. UK officials wanted to end the new nation of Sealand and ordered the British military to remove Prince Roy and destroy Ruff's Tower. Despite several attempts, the British Navy was unable to capture the fortress. When a UK government ship entered Sealand's waters, Prince Michael fired warning shots, leading to charges against him upon his return to Britain. However, a court ruling in 1968 stated that it had no jurisdiction over Sealand, effectively recognizing Sealand's sovereignty. On the 25th of September 1975, Prince Roy proclaimed the constitution of the Principality of Sealand. Over time, other national treasures were developed, such as a national anthem, stamps, as well as gold and silver coins minted as Sealand dollars. Principality of Sealand passports were also produced and issued to many of those who have contributed to the formation of the Principality. In August of 1978, a number of Dutch and German men came to Sealand in the employ of a German businessman. They were visiting under the guise of a business proposition. This transpired to be a ruse, and these men were in fact highly trained mercenaries. While Prince Roy was away, they kidnapped his son Michael and took Sealand by force. These mercenaries held Prince Michael captive for several days before eventually transferring him against his will onto a fisher trawler. Following the trawler's landing in the Netherlands, Prince Michael made his way back to the UK to reunite with his father, Prince Roy. A plan was immediately made to recapture Sealand, called Operation Trident. Sealand's most loyal and highly trained citizens were called upon, and the legendary Sealand Special Unit was born. The operation was executed a few short days later. It involved a helicopter assault and culminated in the unconditional surrender of the invaders. The invaders were held as prisoners of war in Sealand's own jail cell. During this period, the governments of Germany and the Netherlands petitioned for their release. Initially, they asked Britain to intervene in the matter, but the British government cited their early court decision as evidence that they held no authority over the territory of Sealand, stating that there was nothing that they could do. The Dutch citizens were released as the war was over and the Geneva Convention mandates the release of all prisoners. The German citizen, however, was a holder of the Sealand passport. Because of this, he was tried on Sealand for treason. Found guilty, he was incarcerated for an extended period of time in Sealand jail, at the bottom of the North Tower. Following this, Germany sent a diplomat directly to Sealand via helicopter to arrange the release for their citizen. Prince Roy released the treasonous German citizen in a move aimed at preventing the blooding of Sealand's reputation. After that, on 1st October 1987, Britain extended its territorial waters from 3 to 12 nautical miles. The previous day, in anticipation of this, Prince Roy declared the extension of Sealand's territorial waters to be 12 nautical miles, so that the right-of-way from the open sea to Sealand could not be blocked by the British claimed waters. No treaty has been signed between Britain and Sealand to divide up the overlapping areas, but a general policy of dividing the area between the two countries down the middle can be assumed. Britain has made no attempt to take Sealand, and the British government still treats Sealand as an independent state. In 1999, they established an internet server farm on Sealand which would allow users to operate free of censorship restrictions imposed by other nations. In 2000, during the peak of the .com boom, a company called Havenco was set up on Sealand, with bases in London and Amsterdam. Major upgrades were made to the infrastructure to support the extensive server needs of the project. Staff from different countries moved to Sealand in preparation for the launch. By late 2000, Havenco launched. But soon disagreements arose between Sealand's royal family and Havenco's senior management over user policy issues. The following year, Havenco's CEO returned to the US due to personal problems. In 2002, the CTO left the company under contentious circumstances. By 2003, resources were running low, leading to the dissolution of Havenco. On the afternoon of 23rd June 2006, the top platform of the Robs Tower caught fire due to an electrical fault. A Royal Air Force rescue helicopter transferred one person to the hospital. A lifeboat stood by the Robs Tower until a local fire truck extinguished the fire. All damage was repaired by November 2006. From 2007 to 2010, Sealand was put on the market for sale by the Spanish real estate company Himno Naranja. The asking price for this unique micronation was set at $750 million. The selling point included not just the physical structure, but the intrigue associated with owning a country with its own flag, currency, and a colorful history. It's not every day you come across a country listed for sale, making Sealand a strange yet fascinating piece of real estate. The Pirate Bay, an online index for digital content including entertainment media and software, was established by the Swedish think tank Pirate Brian. The Pirate Bay was well known as a hub for individuals around the globe to share and download content, often brushing up against copyright laws. In January 2007, they found themselves in hot water with stricter copyright enforcement in Sweden. Seeking to maintain their operations while evading these heightened restrictions, the Pirate Bay made an attempt to buy the Principality of Sealand. The idea was to use Sealand as their operational base, a move that could potentially put them beyond the reach of copyright laws enforced by any major country. Sealand, with its history of standing up to UK government jurisdiction, seemed a good fit for the Pirate Bay's rebellious stance. However, the purchase didn't happen, as the Sealand government didn't want to be involved with the Pirate Bay, as it was their opinion that file sharing represented theft of proprietary rights. This marked another chapter in Sealand's history. Today, Sealand is home to a diverse international community united by a love of freedom, self-determination, and adventure. Through Sealand's Noble Title initiative, more people can join this community and support Sealand's maintenance and preservation efforts. Sealand's unique culture has attracted global attention, and it has sport teams that compete internationally in many disciplines, including American football, open water swimming, alpinism, curling, ice hockey, and long-distance running. In addition, Sealand has been exploring the use of Web3 technologies like blockchain for a more transparent and decentralized governance, enabling greater community participation. This could potentially position Sealand as a leader in modern governance and promote broader freedoms worldwide. Sealand is also highly environmentally friendly. They produce electricity from renewable sources like wind turbines and solar panels. And all of its fresh water supply is harvested from abundant rainfall, making it a self-sufficient micronation. And there you have it, the remarkable journey of Sealand and the Bates family. From a deserted World War II fort to a state that now stands as a symbol of independence and resilience. No matter how the winds of change blow, the Sealand flag continues to fly high above the North Sea, a beacon for those who value independence and sovereignty. Subscribe and stay tuned for the next video.